Hey guys, thanks for watching. We're going to be going over Florida Statute 400.9935. Talks about clinic responsibilities for clinics that are licensed under AHCA, AHCA, Agency for Healthcare Administration. And so the first thing that I want to go over is there's a bunch of bullet points here, 9. It says each clinic shall appoint a medical director who shall agree in writing to accept legal responsibility for the following. And we're going to go over the 9 areas here. Now, the intent behind this is they created a law in Florida that allows, some states don't allow, Florida allows, non-medical professionals to own medical clinics, medical offices. So let's say someone is not a doctor, they have no medical background, but they worked at a hospital as an administrator for many years and now wants to open up an urgent care. In my opinion, great person to open an urgent care. They don't have a medical license, but they understand the business of medicine and they're going to open an urgent care. So the purpose of this law, this statute, is to appoint a medical director to make sure that the urgent care is run like a medical office, not a business. A business person would say, hey, we can make tons of money prescribing people narcotics at the urgent care if they come in here, right? And what happens? The next thing you know, everybody's going to that clinic for heavy narcotics. And so a medical director would make sure that that sort of thing doesn't happen, right? They'd say, hey, listen, I know you really enjoy making money, but we can't just be giving out narcotics here. So a medical director makes sure that the clinic itself is not primarily a business, but that there's a medical purpose behind everything. And so in that regard, the medical director is going to be an MD or a DO who accepts legal responsibility. So let's say there's a clinic and they have a medical director and they're pumping out tons of heavy narcotics on people that walk in the door for cash, right? Who's going to go to jail? Well, this person's going to be legally responsible, and then the business owner. But remember, the business owner is not in the medical profession, so they could disappear and open up some other business next week, right? So they want to hold someone accountable with their license, and that's the trade-off in terms of a non-medical professional owning a clinic, a medical office. So I'll read you. I got a little lazy here. I don't want to write down all these things. My handwriting's not as good as you think. So one, they have to make sure, the medical director has to make sure that there are signs identifying who the medical director is, and it's got to be posted in a conspicuous location, readily visible to all the patients, the lobby, for instance, of the clinic. They have to ensure that all practitioners providing healthcare services maintain a current and active license. So let's say the medical director of a physical therapy clinic. They have to make sure that the physical therapist and the PTAs, the physical therapy assistants, all have an active, unencumbered license and that they're operating within their scope, right? Review any patient referral contracts or agreements executed by the clinic. So your marketing agreements, if there is a referral service, lawyer and medical referral service, let's say, the medical director needs to review that contract and make sure that it's legal. Now, the biggest thing with any referral agreement is that it's not per patient, but there's a lot of caveats to that. And I don't know that a medical director or medical doctor would know those, so I kind of find that a little bit much for them, but sure. But they're supposed to review those. Ensure that all healthcare practitioners at the clinic have the appropriate certification for the level of care being provided. So again, to go back, you don't want a PTA doing the job of a PT, and you don't want a physician assistant doing the job of a medical doctor. You want to make sure that everybody's doing their own. The big one that you'll see insurance companies sue doctors for is they have massage therapists performing physical therapy on patients, actual PT on patients, which is way outside the scope of a massage therapist, right? Subsection E, serve as the clinic records owner. So who's going to be the owner of these records if something happens? The medical director, okay? And then F, ensure compliance with record keeping, office surgery, and adverse incident reporting requirements of the clinic. So let's say there's an incident that takes place, a serious incident. There needs to be a report, there needs to be a process in place for that, and the medical director should be kept aware of any of these issues so that they're in the loop on these things and can properly supervise the clinic. G, conduct systematic reviews of clinic billings to ensure that the billings are not fraudulent or unlawful. Upon discovery of an unlawful charge, the medical director shall take immediate corrective action. If the clinic performs only, this is for an MRI center, only MRIs, X-rays, or CT scans in a fixed facility, blah, 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 CMS. If the percentage of scans performed by that clinic, which was billed just for PIP, was less than 15%, the chief financial officer of the clinic may, in a written acknowledgement to the agency, assume the responsibility for the conduct of the systematic reviews to ensure that they're not fraudulent. And then H, subsection H, not refer a patient to the clinic. So for instance, an MRI center, right? Let's say there's a medical doctor and he is the medical director of the clinic, of the MRI center, and he's sending his patients from his private practice for MRIs at the facility. That could be considered a kickback. Hey, I'm the medical director of this MRI center. In exchange for all the business that you're sending me, that could be considered a kickback. So you cannot do that as well. And then ensure that the clinic publishes a schedule of charges for the medical services offered to patients. Schedule must include the prices charged to an uninsured person paying for services by cash, credit, debit card. Schedule may group services by price levels, and the schedule must be posted in a conspicuous place in the reception area of any clinic that is considered an urgent care, and must include but is not limited to 50% of the frequently provided services at the clinic. And they go into here, must be 15 square feet in size. So thanks for joining. That's subsection 1 of the Clinic Responsibilities Act. Thanks.